top of the day.
Top of the day. My name is Coach Garrity. I'm the girls soccer coach here, like I said before. I'm going to be talking to you guys, and this is interesting because I was expecting new teachers. So I don't think do I have any like first year teachers? Yes. Okay. So you guys are going to get my number one piece of advice. I'm going to talk to you guys through things that I've found to be successful over the course of my educational career. I'm going to be talking to you guys about goal setting, what goal setting means, and I'm going to be talking to you about culture and the importance of culture. To start off, I'm going to give you a shameless plug. We are selling staff shirts at the beginning of the year. So you guys don't have any Bowie gear most likely, or if you do, it's an older Bowie shirt. This is going to be ready by the time school starts. These are going to be $10 a shirt, not expensive. Get yourself some nice Bowie gear. It's not going to shrink. It's going to stay the same size, and it's going to stay the same look the entire time. So it's not going to turn into a, oh, I get to wear this at home because it's all faded and wrinkly and has a bacon collar. So there you go. That's the first one. So one of the things that's super important to understand is whether you have a good day or whether you have a bad day is your choice. Because a good day or a bad day is perspective. And if you think that something's bad, then it is bad. If you think something's good, then it is good. And you're like, well, duh. But it's a really powerful idea once you learn how to embrace it. You have to understand that 5 minutes out of your day is not going to wreck your whole day unless you choose to allow it to wreck your whole day. And even if you do have an absolute disaster of a day, worst possible day, you're sitting there saying, why am I even here? What am I doing? It's a brand new day the next day. Every single day. And one of my number one pieces of advice is to never, ever, ever stop being a student. You have your whole life, okay? Right now, we're on the verge of literally creating and building and growing organs, okay? We have successfully grown and transplanted a pig heart into a pig, and it lived. We created the heart, and that's the closest to humans. So we can realistically expect that as long as we don't have a neurodegenerative disease, our lifespans are going to extend. So if we have all this extra time, you have to use it. Because what's the point of existing when you could be living? We have a roller coaster ride in front of us. Education is a roller coaster every single day. You have your ups and your downs. But as high as you go up and as far as you go down, know that that ride is just going to continue. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have okay days. You're going to have leading up to Christmas break days. You're going to have end of the year days. You're going to have, I crushed this lesson plan, it's going to be a good day, good days. And then you're going to have I crushed this lesson plan and it went terribly days too. And that's okay, because that's what education is. It's a series of ups and downs. And it's learning how do you manage those as a teacher and as a person. Enjoy it, because these waves happen every single year. There's always the motivation at the beginning of the year. Everyone comes in, they're wearing their new clothes, they're all fired up, they get to look good in front of everyone, and then 2 weeks later they're in sweats, and their roots are showing, and everything's starting to fall apart, and they're just kind of coasting in the beginning of September. That happens every year. It's gonna happen every year. It's just the way life is. Understand that and accept that. Don't try to fill a kid's brain with a brand new concept the day before Christmas break. Learn from things like that, okay? We went over this, but I put this was the first idea I wanted you to see, because you have to take attendance. And it sounds dumb, but like, it's one less thing you have to worry about, and it's one part of your routine that can get your kids settled and get them focused. Beginning of the day, you walk in, get them settled, you start calling attendance, and you set the expectation that it's quiet during attendance, and they speak and give you eye contact during attendance. All of a sudden that whole mindset has changed when they walked in, because they know this is the beginning of their day, the beginning of their time with you. And they settle and they shift from hallway craziness to whatever your classroom culture is. That's also where you put in grades. Make sure your grades are in on time. because you look foolish when they put you on blast and your name's in red. From 2012 to 2016, I bounced around a lot. 2018, actually. I started my career at a charter school in Grand Prairie. I taught in Lancaster with Maxine Williams. From there, I went to Cedar Hill. From there, I went and I taught in Pleasant Grove. And my idea was I wanted to experience all levels of education. I started teaching 9 through 12 charter school. From there, I went to teaching English 1, English 1, English 1, then English 4, thank God. From there, I went to 5th grade language arts. From there, I went to 6th through 8th grade German in Pleasant Grove. And then I popped over here to Bowie to teach English 3. And now this year I'll be teaching AP Seminar. I didn't know what I wanted to do during this time frame. I knew I liked coaching. I knew I liked being in the school. I thought I wanted to be an administrator. Wrong. I thought I wanted to be an elementary administrator. Wrong. I thought I wanted to be a testing coordinator. Wrong. But the only way I learned that was to put myself out there and experience it. Being in an elementary school, an absolutely wild elementary school with wild children who no one could control, parents couldn't control, principals couldn't control, administrators couldn't control, I couldn't control. That was the first time I had lost control. I couldn't do it. I almost walked out. Stopped teaching that day. I've never experienced that before. I've never quit on anything in my life, and I almost walked out that door and never came back. And that was in October. I thought at that time I was gonna get through that year and I was gonna start my pathway to being an elementary administrator. And then I saw the issues that elementary administrators actually deal with, and I said, no, I don't wanna deal with name calling and pushing and all the little things that go into dealing with the youngest ones. Kindergarten's awesome, by the way, though. That was my favorite year of teaching kindergarten. But I would have known that had I not been in that environment. Because it's a novel idea. Oh, you get to go guide these teachers who are guiding the youngest of minds and setting the base for what needs to be learned. And then you experience it and you realize, no, that's not for me. And then I tried out testing coordinators, which is awesome because it's a lot of spreadsheets and it's a lot of communication and it's a lot of coordination, which is sweet. But after doing that for 3 weeks and realizing that everyone else doesn't do their job the way they're supposed to do their job when you're doing your job the way you're supposed to do it, that's frustrating. And I realized I don't want to do that. I don't want to tell adults who are being paid to do their job when they should be doing their job already. And this entire time, my time at Lancaster was so valuable to me, so very valuable, because I was a 22-year-old, young, up-and-coming, motivated, fired-up teacher. I was ready to change the world. Every single kid was going to learn exactly what I had to teach. Every single kid was going to become better humans, every one of them. That's unrealistic. Can't do it. I'm only one person. You're only one person. You're only one person. You can't change 3,000 kids. You can't change 150 kids. You can't change 15 kids. But if you change one kid, that's a success. If you set one person down that road and they see what you've done for them, and other kids see what you've done for them, and they start doing that for other people, that's a win. Realistic expectations. You will not change the world. If a kid comes through my class and they can't write an essay, and I know that they're gonna go be a mechanic or work in a warehouse for the rest of their lives, it's not gonna matter whether they can write an essay or not. But what is gonna matter is, can they think the way that my subject's trying to teach them to, and can they be better humans than they walked in the door? Those are victories. Realistic expectations. Think back to your junior year of high school, or your senior year of high school for a second. And think back to the time surrounding prom. And it's either a, prom whatever, or heck yeah, prom dude. Or it's like, oh, I'm not going to prom is so dumb, so losers. But whatever emotion you have attached to it, there's an emotion attached to it. And remember in high school, when they walk in these doors, everything is the most important thing in the world. Everything. The clothes they wear, that's the most important thing. The music they have playing in their AirPods, that's the most important thing. Seeing their friends in the hallway, regardless of the schedule, that's the most important thing. We're in an environment where Experiences, relationships, and interactions are new for a vast majority of these kids. So they matter. That first relationship, oh my God. Heartbreaking, everything, the world is over. My boyfriend broke up with me. I hate that girl, she cheated on me. End of the world, end of the world. It matters to them. And it's always going to matter to them. And even though the faces change, you're gonna get the same people in your rooms every single year. And it's gonna matter to them every single time. Embrace that, understand that. Show empathy. I understand. I remember when this happened to me. This is how I dealt with it. Give them advice. Let them know that you went through it too, and don't play it off like it doesn't matter, because it does. It matters to them. And if you say it doesn't matter, you don't matter. Everything is life or death. I was a very arrogant young man. My head was approximately the size of this school, and I knew everything. Everything there was to know about anything was right here. So I approached professional development that way my first 2 years of teaching. Why am I sitting in this class? I got straight A's in college. I graduated summa cum laude. Why do I need to listen to you? What do you have to teach me? I'm just gonna go do my lesson plans. I'm gonna go teach my lessons. Because I know everything. I don't know everything. I thought I did. I don't. But I didn't understand that there were other people around me who have been there and have done that, who have seen those kids and dealt with those fights and broken up those fights and seen relationships fall apart and come back together and fall apart and back together and apart and together and apart together and apart together. All of you know someone like that from high school. You can remember that. And it took me a long time, a really, really long time, to check myself and say, I don't know. And to be comfortable saying, I don't know. And to look at people who I might consider smarter or less smart than me and say, they know things that I don't, and I need your help. That took me a long time to check myself to say that, because that brought me down. At first I viewed that as weakness. You don't know this? You're gonna go for someone else and have them tell you when you could go learn it yourself? But no, that's what they're there for. That's what we're all here for. Okay? You're a teacher. I'm a teacher. He's a teacher. She's a teacher. We're all teachers. Teachers teach. And we're supposed to be learners too. We're supposed to be students too. So if we have teachers who can teach us things that they have learned, why not use them? We don't know everything, and we never will. We can try for it, but we never will. These students are here in this building every day. You think about a big school, they always talk about attendance. Attendance is really important. So you're always shooting for anywhere from 95 to 97% attendance. So that means 95 to 97% of your students are gonna be here every day. So when you think about your year, you should be here every day. Does life happen? Absolutely. But when you think about it, when you're not here, they're here. And they're asking, why aren't you here? Oh, if you're not here 2 days in a row, why was she gone? Where were you, miss? What were you doing, miss? 3 days? Whoa, who are you? Because remember, we're A-B schedule. So if you miss 3 days, they're not gonna see you for a whole week. That's a whole week that you've been gone. And they're here. And they should expect to walk in that door and see you here every day. Because this is your job. It's their job to be students, it's your job to be teachers. Be here every day. And when I say be here, don't just be here. I could be here. I'm here right now, but I'm not here. If I'm here and I'm present and I'm engaged, I'm here. If not, I'm not. I'm just filling a seat. Because we all know the students who fill seats. Don't be a teacher that fills a seat. You're here because you chose to be here. I chose to be here. I make a choice to be here every single day. I love my job. I love being here. I love being in a school. I went through all my years of high school. I went through my years of college, and I said, you know what? I was pretty good at that school thing. Might as well keep going with it. Get to wake up early, get to get out early, get summer times off, get a lot of vacation. Screw it, why not? Homework? All right, it's only 10 months out of the year, 2 months to do nothing. But you made the choice to continue your educational career. You're in this building every day, you're in a school every day, you're lucky. Being in a school is awesome. We don't have to deal with business managers and paperwork, filing, and office stuff. That sucks. You're at a desk all day. We're not at a desk all day. Okay? Be proud of it. I'm proud to be at James Bowie High School. I finally found my home. It took me 5 to find it, and I found it. And this is my last phase of my educational journey, and I'm glad that I get to finish it here. Show your students that you care about your profession. Does that mean that you come in a suit and tie every day? That's what I thought it meant. I wore a 3-piece suit every single day for my first 4 years of teaching. Vest included. And then I said, you know what? This doesn't matter. They don't care. I'm sick of ironing. I'm done. I'm done with that. And then I went to polos and khakis. That's all I wear. I wear what the students wear. They come in, so all my schools before this had dress codes. So they would wear polos and khaki pants. So I said, why should I feel any different than them? So I would just wear a different colored polo and khaki pants. I'm in the same building, same as they are. I'm working towards my goals the same way they're working towards their goals. But more so than the way you look is the attitude that you bring, and the attitude that you present, and the way that you carry yourself, and the way that you address people, and the way you address students, and the way you talk to your colleagues, the way you talk to the custodians, the way you talk to your principal, okay? Your attitude is a reflection of you. So if you're talking to people, just everything in the world's at the end, everything's blue, that's how people are gonna act back towards you. Why would they be happy to you if you're always sad? If you're grumpy, why do you think they're gonna give you positive energy if you walk into a room and you're Debbie Downer the whole time? Be realistic and be early. Be early. Don't leave your students standing outside your door. Let them get in there and prepare themselves before your class begins. School starts early. We have an early day. Get here early so that they can get in there and get on their phones for a few minutes before class begins. Otherwise, they're gonna be on the phones for the first 10 minutes of your class when your class begins because you didn't give them that phone time before the class begins. Think about that. If a student is expected to be here on time and they get a tardy every time they're not, or they get marked absent, you should have no different expectations than them. We don't clock in here. We don't clock in and out. Doesn't mean you shouldn't be on time. Punctuality shows professionalism. I have used this so badly. I always have and I always will. But it's something I'm really working on. I'm really working on this, okay? Your conference time is a valuable tool because if you use it wisely, let's think about this. PLC is 2 days a week, 1 day a week?
2 or 3.
2 or 3. So that means that at least 2 days out of your week are your conference period. And we have 90-minute periods. So that means that 3 hours out of your contract time here every week is with you independently in your room, doing what you choose to do with your time as a professional. If you don't like working at home, that's fine. Use your time wisely. Use your time productively. And then you don't have to use your time outside of class. One of the things you're gonna learn over the years is to work smarter, not harder. Make it easier for yourself. There are times when you're gonna have to sit there and grade those tests or grade those essays. That's part of teaching life. But if you do it smart and you use the electronic tools that we have at our disposal that are all free, that grade stuff for you, and all you have to do is build a good question to show understanding or comprehension, use that. So your time is yours. But if you don't like planning outside of school, plan during your conference time. Build it into your schedule. New teacher, build it into your schedule. Understand that you have to plan to be successful. Otherwise, you're flying by the seat of your pants and it sucks. Teaching without lesson plans sucks, especially if you're new to it and you haven't been doing it for a while. Can you do it? Yeah. Can you slap something together and copy it before class? Yeah. Is that what you should do? No. Have I done it before? Yes. But the more that you prepare, the more comfortable you feel going into your classroom. The more comfortable you feel, again, your attitude exudes. So if you walk in and you're fired up about lessons, I planned this last week, pop! Here's your group list, it's on the board, pop! All of a sudden they're like, whoa, sweet, okay, let's do it. He's hyped about this, I should be too. Versus, here we go, we'll go over the answers at the end of class. I don't care about that. Why would I want to do your work if you're not gonna do any work for me? The more you plan, the better your classes are. Simple as that. Understand that you have to plan. Build it into your schedule. Know that every Sunday, every Saturday, every Tuesday night, every Thursday afternoon, whatever it is for you, make that time your time for planning. I was super lucky. I was really blessed. My first year teaching, Coach Hernandez, he was a football coach for like 30 years in Texas. He was a financial advisor who came and talked to our school. You know, like, hey, come into the break room during your lunch. We got lunch for you. Come listen to financial advisor talk. You're gonna get those emails every single year. Every year, all year long. So I did. I went in, I talked to him. I was like, okay, here we go. So with him, we got set up on a 403B, educational savings plan. Every month, money comes out of my check, goes straight into my savings. And in there, it's into a slow growth, long-term yield investment. Okay? Coming from a 403B, it was guaranteed as an educator. All the money that I put in is gonna come back to me. Even if there is a slight loss based on the investments made, it comes back to me because it's protected under my educational 403B. And I loved it. I saw that grow and grow and grow and grow. I was like 25 years old, I was like, I have a savings account. I have a retirement fund already. Because one of the things they're gonna do is show you what does it look like when you retire if you only get your pension funds. And you're gonna be like, wait, first of all, I have to teach until I'm like 75 to get retirement. And then this is the only money that I get? No. In order to get my pension the way I wanted to, I would have to teach until I was 39 years into my teaching career to get to that point to be able to retire with the percentage that I wanted to. 39 years of my life to get to that point. By switching to a Roth IRA and planning a whole life insurance policy, that went from 39 years to 29 years. 10 years off my teaching career just by listening to another financial advisor talk and listening to how I could progress what I already had. One person doesn't know everything. One point of view isn't always the best one. Take in your resources and learn. I pay, you ready for this? I pay $15 a month. And I have a $1.25 million life insurance policy right now. If I die, my wife gets $1.25 million for $15 a month because I started it when I was 22 years old. And I had no health issues because I was a young buck. That's locked. My rate's not gonna go up because I did it then. Time is the only thing you can't get back. You can always make more money. You can always buy a new house. You can always meet new people. But you can never, ever, ever, ever recover time and go back and change what happened. So act now. I love goals. I love small goals. I love big goals. I love aggressive goals. I love conservative goals. And I love the sense of satisfaction that comes along with achieving a goal. My goal this morning was to wake up on the first alarm and not snooze. And I accomplished that. I started my day with a victory. And that alarm went off, I said it extra loud. When that alarm went off, I opened my eyes and I stayed awake. I won. I started out my day winning. And every decision along the way is made with a winner's mentality because of one small goal that I set for myself this morning. I set big goals. I set real big goals because my goals for myself are all the way up there. And I know that I need to train myself to achieve big goals, to achieve my life goals. So I got a couple of real big goals coming up for my program. I'm gonna be talking about my program through this too. My goal for my program is that next year, we're going to Florida for a travel trip. That's doable. Other people done that. Go out of state. 2022, 2023, Bowie Girls Soccer is going to be going to Spain on a travel trip. That's a big goal. That's a real big goal. And people might say, okay, how are you going to do it? You got to set steps along the way. You got to set those mini goals along the way. And the most important part about goals is that they can't just be one part of your life. It can't be, what are my teaching goals? It can't be, what are my athletic goals? It has to be a broad spectrum of goals. Otherwise, you are a one-dimensional human, and no one wants to be one-dimensional. You have to expose yourself to new things. You have to set new goals, pursue new interests. So as high as you set the bar for yourself personally and professionally, you got to keep that standard the same. Because when you walk out of these doors, you're not Mr. or Miss, you are you. I'm not coach, well, I'm coach all the time. But I'm not Mr. Garrity anymore, I'm Devin when I walk out of these doors. And Devin's goals are just as aggressive as Coach Garrity's goals. Because I take that mindset to everything that I do. Planning backwards. You're gonna hear this your entire educational career. Plan backwards. Think about the test. Think about the test at the end. Okay? So for me, I spent all this time practicing. We practice. And the point of practice is to prepare yourself for a game. Games are my test. So what I gotta do is I gotta look at the game. I gotta look at what aspects of soccer am I going to train? What am I gonna focus on to win the game? You guys have the same thing. You have a test at the end of the year. If you teach Algebra 1, Algebra 2 is a STAR test, right? Oh, yes. If you're in a STAR test, let's take it this way. If you teach a STAR tested subject, that's your game. That's your playoffs. That's your end of the year. Okay? And you might not have the most talented squad out there. You don't have the all-stars on your team. And that's okay. Because there's always a way to win. You just got to figure out what it is. If you don't have those kids who come in and say, man, I crush every single aspect of basic math, things we never hear, that's okay. They might be really good at some things. Figure out what it is. Use that to propel them forwards. If you know that your kids cannot make it through a 3-step equation, blast 1-step equations for half your year. So that becomes so down packed that all those basic questions, they get them right. So then they only need to get a couple of the mid and a few of the hard right to succeed. That's the strategy I took when I taught ACT prep in Lancaster. I took kids who were scoring 6s and 7s and 4s and 11s on their ACTs, and I bumped them up into the low 20s, high teens to low 20s, because I focused on things that were realistic. I said you're not going to get the high level questions right, that's okay. You don't have to. Your school you want to go to, the goal that you have set for yourself, you don't have to do that. I put it in perspective for them. I gave them a realistic set of growth goals and a realistic set of expectations. And when they understand that they don't have to be perfect and they can be less than perfect and still achieve the success they want to achieve, they'll work for you. But you have to put it in perspective for them. You have to set benchmarks for them. I want you to get 8 out of 10 of these easy questions right. I want you to be able to solve an easy level geometry question in 1 minute or less. Because that's doable. That's feasible. And you have to reflect. It's great. I'm gonna be the president. Okay, cool. Where are you at on your goal? You said that 5 years ago. What are you doing to be president? So if you have these goals, it's great. But if you're not sitting there saying, I'm gonna do this by then, this by then, this by then, and then saying, did I achieve my first step? No, why not? Well, I didn't focus on it at all. Well, let's take a step back, refocus, and try that first step again, because you can't move on to step 2 if you miss step 1. Same way you can't solve an equation, it's 3 parts if you only do the first part, okay? And you gotta be consistent. You can set a goal of, I'm going to be a painter. But if you don't paint, you're never gonna be a good artist. You gotta do it. You gotta do it over and over and over and over again. Find the mistakes so that you cannot do those mistakes the next time. And you gotta consistently reflect. Did this painting turn out the way I wanted it to? No, why not? Okay, let me change it on the next one. It's a complicated slide, guys. Trying to rack your brains around this one. Yet. I am not a professional coach yet. My son has not graduated with honors yet. I can't speak Portuguese yet. That changes everything. Coach, I can't do this. You can't do this yet. I'm never gonna be writing an essay. No, you can't write one yet. Because as soon as you say, at least you can, at least you've got, you're agreeing with them. Don't agree with them, push them. You can't do this yet, say yet. You can't do this yet. Coach, I can't kick a ball with my left foot. You can't kick a ball with your left foot yet. And then ask them this question. If they sit there and say, I can't solve for X. I don't know how to do this when there's a negative underneath. Well, okay. How many times have you tried it? How many times have you worked through this problem? Oh, I don't know how to do it. So you haven't done it at all? No. Well, okay, let's take a step back. You find a kid who plays basketball. Did you make your first three-pointer you ever took? No. Do you make them now? Yeah, I'm a baller, coach. Well, why do you make them? Because I practice. I was like, oh, wait, so you're saying doing something over and over again with a focus gets you results? Well, yeah, coach, that's why we practice. Oh, okay. So then I shouldn't expect, if I've never played basketball before, to go out there and score 40 points my first game. No, you probably can't even dribble. Yeah, no, I can't. But if I learn to dribble, and I practice dribbling, and I develop my skills, then I might go out there and get a couple of assists, and that's a great game for me. And if I practice my shooting, and I practice my movement off the ball, I might get some easy layups and score some baskets. And all of a sudden, I'm progressing towards where I want to be because I'm practicing and I'm doing. That's the problem. I do a lot of reflecting on education in general, and this is what almost drove me away from it for a long period of time. Is saying, why? Why won't they even try? Why won't they try? And it's because they haven't succeeded, because they haven't put in the right amount of time, and that's okay. That's not on them.
About 2 more minutes.
I accept that. So you gotta sit there and say, if they can't do that, it's my responsibility to put them in a position where they can. And if they're struggling with this one concept, all I have to do is have them do it over and over and over and over again, because they're not gonna do it on their own. And I need to structure my classes like that, because I know they're not gonna get that practice on their own. And I know they need that automatic feedback. So if I'm teaching math, or if are you teaching Spanish?
Biology.
Oh, even better. If I'm teaching biology and they cannot remember what a mitochondria is, I'm gonna put them on Quizlet, and I'm gonna have them repeat and repeat and repeat until it becomes second nature, and they're like, oh yeah, I know what the mitochondria is. All right. Don't make them say when they walk in your door. Make your classroom smell nice. Be happy and show them that you're happy about what you teach. Coaching is a lot different than teaching. I understand. I get my girls for 4 years. You get yours for 1 semester at times. That's okay. You can still build relationships in that time. And everyone's a person. Adult, student, child. That's how long they can focus for. Don't make them do things longer than that period of time, or you're gonna fail. Sometimes you do, but break it up into sections and make them stand up and stretch. Because it sucks sitting still for 90 minutes. Don't make them do that. TEKS are very valuable. Don't ignore them. All they do is take what you need to teach them and put it into little sections so you understand how to teach them that way. TEKS are really important. TEKS are really important. If you ever have questions about TEKS, talk to me. Please leave with this expectation. Evaluations are your tools. The same way you get data back from your students when they take a test, this is your data on you. When principals and administrators come in your room, it's to help you, because if you do bad, they look bad. They're not there to get you. Even if you get a poor evaluation, that's to help you grow. Understand you are not perfect. I'm not perfect. He's not perfect. He's an expert in his field and he's not perfect. He's teaching IB and he's not perfect. None of us are, and that's okay. If you get distinguished, that means there's no more room to grow, and that's not realistic. Accept what you get, look at the feedback, and move on from there. You are their students. We are administration students. They want to grow us the same way we want to grow our students. They're not attacking you, I promise. Use your data. Data meetings might be boring, but they're very useful because trends are important. And please, sleep. Sleep. If you don't get that essay graded for tomorrow, because you have 14 more and it's 11:30 at night and you have to be up at 5, sleep, the essays will still be there. Take an extra day. Don't come into your classroom a zombie. Don't eat crappy food. You're gonna have a crappy day if you eat crappy food. And be ready to step away from your profession. When you have a vacation, use a portion of your vacation for you. And please diversify your interests. Because if all you care about is algebra, or all you care about is biology, or all you care about is whatever subject you teach, and you don't explore any other avenues of life, you're one-dimensional. And kids don't want to deal with one-dimensional people because they're boring. Being boring sucks. Don't be boring. And when you do learn something new, when you decide to learn something new, show your students. Show your students that you're new at something, that you're learning something that makes you feel uncomfortable, and you mess up. So when they mess up, they're like, oh wait, coach messes up. I learned how to skateboard the last 2 years. And I constantly show them clips of me succeeding and of me failing. So that they see, dude, coach took a real spill on that one, but he's still doing it because it's something I care about, something I found that I enjoy. And that helps them to find something they enjoy and understand it's okay to not be good at something right off the bat. No one's perfect. Do not quit your first year. That's the very first thing I tell anyone who says I'm gonna be a teacher. The first year of teaching is brutal. The first month of teaching is brutal. You will be tired. For the first, till Christmas break, you're gonna be tired every single day. It's just how it is. We've all been there. Everyone in this room had their first year of teaching. Everyone had their first day of teaching. You will mess up. You will struggle. You will get in fights with kids. Not physical fights. You'll get in the verbal ones when you learn. You will want to pick up their phone and throw it off the wall, but you can't. Take a step back, breathe. Don't quit. You can do it. You can do it. Thank you.